Hey, what it do, we're back. It's your main man, the hooded professor. I've got no hood on today. It's your boy, Professor Omni. I thought I'll come in, give a little something today. Today we're gonna probably jump straight into it, but yeah, let me know how you guys have been. Yeah, how's your week been thus far? Yeah, what plans you got for the weekend? Anything good? Anything popping? Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna be doing, but yeah, I have to figure that bit out. Yeah, I want to do something, but I'm not sure just yet. Yeah, maybe go to like a bar or something, or maybe try some sort of activity. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, how's everyone doing? Hope everyone's okay. Yeah, I hope you guys are good. We're gonna get straight into it. If you guys don't mind, we're gonna get straight into it. The subject matter today, if you guys have watched my little preview, is dark and light, or more specifically, dark matter and light matter. All right, so kind of excited about this one, I ain't gonna lie, as you can tell probably. Yeah, but yeah, it's an interesting topic, that's why. All right, so first of all, to break it down, oh, and by the way, later on, we'll get into some other things, like we'll talk about some tech and whatnot, some ideas I've got going on. Yeah, you'll see it soon. If you haven't already seen it on my Instagram page, which is Professor Omni, VSP, yeah, Inventive Supreme. You see me on there, see a big VSP sign, black and gold. Yeah. So jumping straight into it, basically, to start off with, I will mention what I do mention sometimes, which is obviously the three sources of experience and life and reality and everything in itself. Which, if you guys don't know already, one would be vibration, two would be magnetism, and three would be momentum. Yeah, and those three, they pretty much feed off of each other. They're pretty much one and the same in a sense. Different cogs to the same, mechanism, basically. So that's how we would have to look at this thing in a sense, to start off with, because we know that everything vibrates. Everything also has a magnetic property or balance to it. And then also even the supposed magnetic things, which I think I have spoken about before, about if you was to go to different depths, yeah, you'll see that there's magnetism there, basically. It's pretty much like the glue to the omniverse. And obviously momentum, without momentum, you can have an experience, you couldn't measure anything. Yeah, it's what allows us to have time anyway, in general. So yeah. So now we've got that out of the way, we can get straight into it. And I'll talk to you guys about, the difference between light and dark matter. Yeah. Light and matter is basically, all right. So matter, the word matter, comes from I think it's the Latin word, and I think it literally means mother. I don't know if I'm right or wrong in this, so don't quote me. But, so basically, I think it's a Latin, I think I'm right. Yeah, it's a Latin word. But yeah, don't quote me. A Latin word or Roman Latin word or whatever. That basically transfers or translates into, mother. So, matter is basically, in that sense, if you want to look at it like that, is the mother, essence, energy, in a sense. So that's matter. Dark matter is obviously dark mother, if you want to call it that. They have their own separate purposes, but the same resolve in a sense. And it is obviously to live, to thrive, to balance as well. It's part, like, in that sense, they're part in parcel. There will always be, omniversal balance, guys. So, you guys have probably already know about this. I've already spoken about this thing before. So, yeah, there's always going to be omniversal balance. Regardless of whatever the case people might think they can do to change that. It's just one of the things that are just, yeah, fantastic and a constant as well. So I've been thinking about this for a while now. And like, like, cause if you guys know me, like I've always been a person I like to be able to calculate, quantify, question, measure, everything pretty much. So I was always researching into my own life and how I'm built, down to all the rest of the humans around me, and then down to animals, creatures, insects, whatever the case may be, nature itself. If you guys remember my last video, I spoke about how, there's coding and stuff, within nature itself, which is if you actually like stop and look and just think about it for a while you're outside and surrounded by nature, you will see its own coding. It's got coding, you can see it, which is a fantastic, beautiful thing. And it also reflects on the point that we have been created. We're created beings, and not by some nonsense Big Bang that makes, it just doesn't make any sense. For me, you guys know my stance on that already from the last video. But yeah, so when it comes to dark matter, right? Dark matter, is something that is, I've also mentioned this before as well. It's built in us as well. And we have dark matter in our bodies, our vessels, our suits or whatever, because it's everywhere. It's just like how matter is everywhere. Dark matter is everywhere as well. And I'm speaking generally, yeah. I know there's pockets of places where there ain't, and pockets of places where there are, or one of the other, basically. So with dark matter, all right, consider matter like any of the other elements, because it is an element, it's like a key element, or a base element, if you want to call it that. So basically, or original element would be a better term. So basically, matter and dark matter are like the elements. And I can liken it to something like fire. Fire is a living organism, guys. It comes from its own realm, probably from the eternal flame or whatever, which I actually speak about in the Adapt story, but I haven't got to that yet, as later on. I'm actually thinking about this, guys, to basically do drawings, like diagrams, depictions and stuff, or illustrations. They wouldn't be like fantastic or anything like that. They'll just be like something I just do like in terms of the story. Because I've done a few of them before, as covers and things like that for my book I'm writing, which is the Adapt story, yeah. But I'm thinking of doing that, and then maybe I can speak about it and do a little something. We'll see, but that's not for now though. But now I've got it recorded. I recorded myself saying it, so you guys have also heard it as well. So I'll definitely do that at some point for sure. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. It's something I've thought about before as well, which is good. So we'll talk about that later on. But yeah, let's get back to it. So dark matter, I would say, is like fire. It wants to live, it wants to breathe, and it wants to grow and expand. Yeah, and consume. But there's parallels, water wants to do the same thing. So if you look at it, it's like, if you look at how we deal with, fire, or how we deal with water, or any of the elements that are surrounding us, we actually harness these elements, we use them and I would dare say manipulate them, which is not necessarily a good word, but we do manage them and control them to some degree to our beck and call, or our desire and personal desire, or whatever the case may be. Like transferring through this phone right now is electric. That's an element. Plasma is also an element as well, and other things as well. But what I'm trying to say is that dark matter and light matter, like matter in itself, is pretty much like those elements, like fire. It wants to live, and it's in us as well. And it's the anti-version to matter. Yeah. So dark matter is also classed as antimatter as well. So it will, if possible, try to consume the light matter. Yeah. And if you guys are not aware, our whole reality is based on light matter. Yeah. Even at nighttime. But just remember as well that we have dark matter in us. We've got all the elements in us, basically, at different levels and whatnot. We've got the constructs of the omniverse in us, basically. That's what we're made out of, pretty much, the omniverse. But we also, like I said, have dark and light matter in us. Like most of our parts that we can see physically, are the light matter parts. But then there's the internal, dark matter parts as well. And obviously other elements, like I said. So what I have noticed is that, people say, like, look at Star Wars, like they say, the dark side, or they say the force or whatever, which is meant to be the light side, right? Light is seen as good and dark is seen as bad. Or evil, or something to be afraid of, or whatever the case may be. Like it's seen as scary, basically. So I've been, like you think about these things, and obviously me being a black person as well, even though I'm brown skin, but me being classed as a black person, or a black man or whatever. And obviously there's a lot of negative connotation around that. Just around darkness anyway, in general, so it got me thinking about this. I mean, obviously I thought about these things for years. And I was just thinking to myself, where does it truly base itself from? Is there a real, well, I don't like to use the word scientific, but is there a real way of quantifying and calculating and coming up with some logical, and rational explanation for why there is such a thing as light and dark in a sense, and with the connotation, like the negative and the positive around them both. So I came to the realization where I realized that the dark matter wants to live, and now the light matter wants to live. Now see them both as fires, but they're fires from different dimensions, from completely different realities. They're the opposite of one another. So in actuality, they will try and cancel each other out and consume and take over the other component, the counterpart. So we right now, like I said, are living in light. Yeah, we're living in the light realm. Yeah, we're living in the light matter realm. Yeah, our world, dimensions, and however you want to call it, it goes on. Yeah. However, the darkness, like I said, in that sense, the dark matter and the darkness in general is in us as well, which is why we talk about good and evil and things like that, righteousness and sin and things like that, So I was just trying to figure out, come to a conclusion of what it all means, where does this stem from? Where's it all going? What was the purpose of it as well, and obviously, being brought up as a Christian, I'm no longer religious in that sense, but obviously I completely respect the Bible and other religions as well. religious books as well, because I don't see them as religious books. I see them as historical books. As long as they keep to the facts and stuff, I'm fine with it. And the Bible has proven itself, historically and physically as well in certain things, you know, like they have physical proof, like geological evidence and whatnot, of, you know, places, stories, whatever the case may be. Yeah, they actually have evidence of it. So that's good. But I see it as a history book. And it talks about good and evil. It talks about light and dark and things like that. And I just like, cause you know, some people say that it's based on, metaphors and, just like stories for ways to live and, you know, like, things like that, which is fine. If people want to believe that, and if they want to say that, that's fine. That's cool. However, for me, yeah, I see it like a history book in it. So it is lessons. There's lessons in there. And you can learn a lot from it, funny enough. If you know how to look and what to look for and how to look at it, basically, yeah. You have to have an open mind. Don't expand out too far because you need to sort of rein it in to some degree. But yeah, have a guideline for yourself, basically, if you're going into any of these kind of things, like readings and things like that. So I'm not saying that good is bad and bad is good. I'm not saying that at all. I'm definitely not saying that. Good is good and bad is bad. But what I am trying to say is that we have a positive side to us. Yeah. We have a side where we're careful, we're considerate, you know, we're respectful, we're woke, we're aware, you know, we're not ignorant. And we're doing things about it as well. Yeah. We're making moves, and you can see it in our actions and stuff, and our heart as well. And then you may get someone that may rub you up the wrong way or something like that. And when that happens, that's when that dark matter starts to reveal itself, show itself, to pop up. And you start getting all these what we call negative thoughts. Now, like I said, I'm not saying that I'm not trying to take away from bad being bad or good being good, but I'm just trying to work out, or at least explain why I think, at least explain my workings out in a sense. Yeah. So, like I was saying, all right. So today is a good example. For any parents out there, you guys know school runs are hectic, right? They're crazy. And I know part of that reason is because obviously you're rushing to get to school on time, get your little ones to school on time. Plus you're also probably rushing to go back to, get to work on time as well. If you're obviously working at the times or working at all, no judgment. It's up to you, whatever you're doing. As long as you're doing something good, productive, that's going to be helping everyone. And yeah, don't just be lazy. That's not good. That's not good for anyone, not even yourself. But, what I would say is that, so today basically, without going too much into it, me and my pops was talking, it's going on a school run, I can't remember. Okay, so I was talking about, cause I was teaching at a school, the other day, and I was a PE teacher, so a cover teacher, so I was teaching, the students, like whatever the case may be, but I was fresh new to the school, mind you, and they called me up late, asking me to come in early, right? So they asked me to come in general, first of all, and then asked me to come in early on top of that, which is fine. So I attempted to come in early or whatever. I was only maybe a couple of minutes late at the most, for the new time, not the original time. which is fine. They didn't even talk about that kind of things. Yeah. But obviously, because it's a new place and stuff, I didn't know like where anything was, to be honest. I didn't know it's a whole new building. It's a whole new environment, you know? And when you're in a new environment, you're out of your own environment, basically. So of course it will take you some time to adjust, you know? So I was bringing, I got told, by the PE guy that I was going to leave, to go elsewhere. So I was covering for him, basically. He told me, oh yeah, there's a couple of students in the class that are a bit, thingy, but I've spoken to them, read the TED, they should be good. So I was like, okay. And he said, I'm going to appoint these two at the front here. There's two young children at the front, of the line, to help you out and to show you around and read the TED. Yeah. So I was like, okay, thank you. That'll help a lot. So he went to go and do his lessons and stuff. And I was taking over for him. Yeah. So then we was going to, the first lesson was in a hall. Yeah. But it was in another building. So we was going, mind you, there's about 30 students, yeah, right? And I'm new to this whole covering thing, yeah, this whole teacher sort of thing, yeah. I'm a TA. I've been a TA before, like for a minute, but now I'm cover teaching. So it's pretty much almost like a teacher in a sense, to some degree. So you're in charge of the class. You're dealing with maybe 30 students, 30 plus of below 30 slightly or whatever, depending on who's there and who's not. So we make our way to the hall. So I'm in front with these two children. What do you call it? And this was my mistake because I was trying to find out where I am and stuff, even though it's not necessarily a mistake in that sense. But I was in front with the two children while the rest of them was coming. And I had, I think there was people in the class as well. There was like adults in the class, you know, to aid and help and stuff. So I think they was coming to help me as well. But basically taking them through the playground and stuff. And then this lady, and we'll get back to the school run thing in a bit, yeah? Because I know I spoke about the school run, but it'll make sense in a minute, yeah? So basically, as I was walking through the playground with his children, this lady came out with some attitude, basically. And she was like, oh yeah, excuse me, she's like, excuse me, can I speak to you? Can I speak to you for a second? I said, all right. Kind of thing, yeah, it's fine. And because if you guys know me, I'm very polite, I'm very nice, and I think some people take the mick out of that, you know. But there will be a point where if you go too far, and I will cuss you out, basically, you know, like I will put you in your place. I don't care who it is. I'm being serious. Like if you because for me, you guys know me already. I don't deal with hierarchy in it, so like I don't deal with it in it. Like you're not better than me, I'm not better than you, so don't try and run your gums to me, bro. You know, what I mean? It's simple as that, innit? Like, but basically. Sorry. So basically, yeah. See, that's the dark matter side again, yeah. But basically, what I was going to say to you, yeah. So she started speaking to me, telling me how, oh yeah, you're meant to be in the middle. I've had to leave my class right at 10 because these two students are right at 10, and that's not acceptable. It's not how we do things here. So she was just basically like trying to put a foot down and try and run her gums. And the thing I'm trying to say is that the approach was wrong, basically, innit? Yeah. If I've made a mistake, you tell me, I will say, okay, I'm sorry, I've made that mistake, and I will learn from that mistake. But if you're coming up to me and you're giving me attitude and you're trying to throw your weight around and you know what I mean, things like that, all you're going to do is just breed bad negative thoughts. You know, that's just what you're doing because you came in there negative. You know what I'm trying to say? So, yeah, shouts out to myself, boy, because I could have cussed her out, and it, you know, like I'll explain that anyway. But the dark matter side, the dark side, in that sense, if you want to call it dark side, or the negative side at least, starts going through your brain, like you start thinking all these different things. Like I was thinking, why don't I just cuss her out? Like if I see her again, you know, all them things there in it. Like if I work here again, and then I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna pull her aside and say, listen. Last time you spoke to me, right, and you didn't speak to me properly, innit? Like you didn't speak to me with respect at all. I've just came fresh into the school, literally been there, 5 minutes or whatever, not even that, 3 to 5 minutes, yeah. Not been shown around or nothing, yeah, right? Because you guys called me in late, You didn't call me in early. You called me in late. Yeah. So I'm coming to cover for you guys. And then you're going to bring this woman out to run her gums to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, it don't make any sense, innit? Like, but, that's what happened anyway. So that was that's been going through my head since, innit? That was yesterday. And it's been sort of on my head, like, oh, why didn't I say anything? Because obviously it's your pride, even though I'm not a prideful person in that sense, but like, I don't believe that we should just because to keep the peace, we should be stepped on and bullied and stuff. I don't believe that's not right either. I'm trying to say that we're not, like, if you're doing that, then I'm not equal to you, but I am actually equal to you. Right. And you're equal to me. So don't try and treat me any different than how you would treat yourself. And if you want to treat yourself like that, then go out and do it somewhere else. Don't try and bring that to me because I know my worth. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing, that's been bugging me basically. So today now I'm just going on a school run, back to school run. There was this dude. Oh my days. And so basically, we've got, the garbage disposal people, yeah, they come with their big trucks and they block up the road in it sometimes, yeah. But they're a big chungus vehicle. They're big, yeah. So basically, they basically ended up to the bottom of the road. I came back from dropping off my little one, went to the car, and then, because I don't drive, by the way, that's my dad's car. Yeah, I ride bikes, something like that. That's more my thing for now, at least. I know maybe eventually I might want to get cars because I make vehicles. I'll be designing vehicles, that have 4 wheels and whatever the case may be, like people carriers and whatnot. But so back to the story. Yeah. So, so they've got right away, like they've already pushed themselves out slightly and there was indicating, yeah, like this is the truck, yeah, right, the garbage truck, yeah. So they was there and they was just getting ready to turn out, yeah, like they've already turned out slightly and they're so imagine they're like turned this way, yeah. Wait, my hands are a bit weird here. So they're turned this way. Now there's a guy, so they're turned this way, yeah. Now there's a guy, yeah, that's pulled up here, right? And stopped there to let his little one out and to watch his little one go into the school, yeah, right? Now you tell me how that makes sense, right? The road is small. It's not a double, it's a double road, but it's small because there's cars parked either side and things like that. So what's happened is that, what do you call it? Oh, I was going to say to you guys. Yeah, so he's there letting out his little one, which is fine. Right. But the thing is, what you've done is you've actually blocked the way now. So you've pulled right up to the truck, right, where as it was going to turn, right? And then you've stopped, you've let your little one out and watched them go past. But then what you've done in the process is actually blocked the whole place up. So everyone's starting to get out of their car, and stuff like that, getting vexed with this guy. And I'm getting vexed as well because he's like he's trying to run his gums thinking like you can't be wrong and strong in it, basically, in it. Like you can't be wrong and strong. So he was trying to be wrong and strong, innit? And it was getting me vexed because I don't like deliberate ignorance. Do you know what I'm saying? Like when someone's deliberately being ignorant, that really does get on my nerves, yeah, right? But obviously I cooled myself down because obviously there's been so many situations like this in school runs. It's unbelievable. You'd be so surprised. Or maybe you won't if your parents, you'll know it's crazy. But yeah. So that for me is a prime example because trust me, after that, I was thinking some bad thoughts. I'm not going to say them online, but I was thinking some bad thoughts, man. Like I was thinking some real bad thoughts, like, because the person was trying to run their gums as was going past as well. He's like trying to run his gums. And I was like, oh man, I want to get out of the car and do something to you. But you don't realize like, but once you get into that, what do you call it? That energy, that flow, that channel. Because imagine you're in this lane all the time and then you switch lane because of something's happened and you start going up that way. You need to get yourself back realigned, otherwise you're just going to set yourself up on a different path and it's going to be, sweat patch. And it's going to be a dangerous path, a reckless path and not your initial path as well, not your initial mission, if you want to call it that. Cause we do have missions on Earth. We do have a mission. Yeah, for sure. So that's like, when it comes to dark matter and light matter, those things should be considered because light matter, for the most part, is just trying to live, trying to do things, whatever. Even though some people say that light is chaos, or light brings chaos, and darkness brings peace or whatever, some weirdness like that. But, for me, it's more about balance, you know? Once you learn, because this is part of us, you know, it's part of us. Once you accept that it's part of us and you embrace that it's part of us, part of our very being, our fiber and whatever makes us up, our substance. What happens is that you can start taking back control. And again, like I remember the scripture in the Bible that talks about, I know it says a man, but just say man, like in terms of a person, let's say a person. So a person basically who can control their emotions can conquer a city. Now, I'm not saying we should go around conquering cities or nothing, but metaphorically, I think what it's trying to say is that if you learn to control your emotions, there won't be nothing that you can't achieve. And that's the main thing here. The fact is that we've been given so much power, and so much abilities, and so much expressions, that for the most part, people become numb because they can't fathom it. And then they go to scientific methods. So basically outward methods, outward exploration instead of internal exploration. And that's not really a good thing. I'm not sure. I think I did somewhat mention it before, possibly in my previous video, but if I didn't, I was talking about the 4 bodies in it, or the different bodies. There may be a 5th one. I'm not sure. No, there is a 5th one. That's the omnibody. But the 4 bodies, out of the 4 that need to be watched the most is your emotional body, your emotional state. Because that's the actual conduit in the sense, to all of the other ones. And I was telling one of my classes this at one point as well, about health and stuff like that, and emotional health, and like there's different types of fitness and stuff. And the implications and repercussions of certain things as well. So, like, I don't know if anyone's like me and they're an empath that is to that level. If you're going through something, whether it be personal, whatever the case may be, or you even hear something and it affects you a certain way, but it's emotional, what happens is that you might get a physical pain. Like some people get shots of pain. I think that's even the case of some people's heart attacks. To be honest, they get heartbroken, literally, and then their body fails down because of their, you know what I'm saying, because of their emotions. So emotions are very, 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 very important and very, very, very powerful and very overlooked as well. And for the most part, people do not know how to manage and control their emotions. That's why you have shootings, stabbings, terrorists, secret governments trying to control the global mass, people loving money, you know, and just being like, which is the root of evil, like, yeah, just the things they do for it. All of these things are based on emotions and how it affects the mental, how it affects the physical, and how it affects the spiritual. Yeah, and matter's right in there, mate. Yeah, matter's right in there. Matter, dark matter, light matter. They're all part of the same thing. You've got a company in CERN, a company called CERN, sorry. And they have a Large Hadron Collider, if you guys don't know already. Probably do by now because it's been out for a minute. They are smashing particles, atoms or whatever, just below the speed of light, spinning them around counter to each other, counter direction to each other, and smashing them together to try and create dark matter. And they are actually creating little tiny bits of dark matter. But what you've got to realize about dark matter, it's the same effect as light matter. Yeah, so biblically again, and you can even say Big Bang, right? But when there was that event, the creation event, or the Let There Be Light event, or the Big Bang, whatever you want to call it, yeah. light spread through the nothingness, through space, and created experience. Yeah. Whether it be for planets or whatever the case may be, it doesn't matter. Boiling it down, it created experience. Yeah. Now, with light matter, light basically, like another scripture, I think it talks about how a candle or a match or whatever, a lit match or a lit candle can light up a whole room. And for the most part, it can. You know what I'm saying? So in that sense, light can, see, I don't want to use the word destroy, but light can, yeah. All right, let's just say it. Yeah, light can destroy dark. But with the right quantity or the right type of dark, you can destroy light as well. And that's the thing, you know, that's the main thing, because, yeah, it's like these guys, CERN, they're making, and there's other people as well. They're making these tiny, you know, gatherings of dark matter or antimatter, what we call it, the dark material. Now, because of the nature of that type of darkness, because its potency is off the charts in a sense. It's completely 100%, like it's full up basically in terms of its potency. Just like light is, basically, light is the same. But because we're light beings and we're living, most of our experience, if you want to call it that, is light. Yeah. So we're living a light experience, basically. So because of that, if we was to actually introduce this super dense, super, super potent, non-diluted dark matter, into the light realm, it could destroy, the light reality, on this planet. Yeah. And potentially could create a black hole. Yeah, potentially. We wouldn't need that. I'm not going to tell CERN what to do. I don't feel I should. I don't feel I need to. You guys are doing what you feel like you want to do. If it comes back on your head, so be it. If it doesn't, then so be it as well. And it depends really. But yeah, I'm not here to judge, like I said. For me, it's more to do with just the awareness of it all, you know? You have to be very careful with those things, because just like getting a super dense quantified, compressed version of light, you know, put that somewhere, even in a light place, that could still cause some damage. It'll probably disperse and be a bit different. But if you was to put that in a dark place, what could happen? You know? And it's the same thing for dark. If you was to put that super dense, super compressed, you know, super refined, like proper, like potent, 100% potency, 100% proof cube like this size of dark matter, and to go, wow, or whatever, throw it or whatever, however it'll work. Destruction, mate. Absolute destruction. You know what I mean? Like, it's not good. But yeah, that's what I have to say on dark and light. Yeah, for now at least. Yeah, we can get further into it. We can get deeper in if you guys want a bit more, but we'll do that another time. Yeah, for now, I want to share a little something. These are basically, let me show you. This is, wait, I don't know if you guys can see that. One sec. There we go. Is that better? Right. So I know it's looking backwards, isn't it? But VSP, that's Violet Star Productions, obviously. This is just one of the designs that I will be making. Let me go back so you can see properly. One of the designs I've been creating, based off of Kal-El, basically my design, the Superman bike I've made. I call him Cal. Yeah, so that's basically to do with that. This is let me see, I think it's got 26 gears or 28 gears. And then also it has that piston system there, which I might have mentioned before, actually. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, that piston system right there. And yeah, what that is, that's basically got two 81 kg magnets in there, which will give you 162 kg worth of sitting power. And I sort of thought about the revolutions per minute, the RPM. If I was to have like 12-tooth single sprocket, that would go in the center there. So this one would be like a 12-tooth single. No, sorry, at the back there. Sorry. So hold on. Right, you see there at the back? That will be where that 12-tooth is. And it'll be on the left-hand side, yeah? You know, on the right-hand side of a bike, there's the gears, for the most part, for like mountain bikes, something like that. Then you have your disc brake or whatever on the other side, or you can have them adjacent on both sides as well. But yeah, so it's decent max RPM, you know. Minimum, I would say, sort of quantifying a little bit, but I might have to go over this again. But minimum is 1,464 RPM. So that's revolutions per minute. That's the minimum. That's when the motor's just spinning like boom, 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 kind of thing, innit? Maximum, yeah, would be 10,248. Yeah. So that's a max RPM. But we probably can get more than that though. It depends, innit? Because these are 81 kg magnets, you know? Yeah, so, and the resting power, the sitting power is, it's 162 kg. Yeah. So, oh gosh, sorry guys. Yeah. Yeah. So that's that. That's that one there. That's that design there. So as you guys can see it one more time. Yeah. I'm not sure what to call it. But I'll figure out something. If you guys have any, ideas for some names, then you can give me some ideas. That'd be good. Yeah. An older design, similar thing. Maybe this is the one I showed you guys. I'm not sure. I can't remember, but yeah, this is an older design. This is based more on Kal-El, to be honest, to some degree. It's more of a Kal-El sort of shape, frame, or his original older frame anyway, because his frame's different now. Yeah. Smaller front wheel as well. As you can see, the front wheel's smaller on this one. It's a fat wheel though. It's nice. It's kind of broad. It's got some width to it. Yeah. So that's that one. You guys can see it. Yeah. And then last but not least, my cat put his wet flower and furry butt on it. So it's a bit discolored. But yeah, have a look at that though as well. This is more of a recent one I designed. Tried to design it with all these flames and stuff going through it. Yeah. It's got the dual front headlights. Got yeah. It's got a lot of things there, man. It's got a lot of things going on. Yeah. Got back tail. It's got a tail light as well, brake light. Yeah. Side mirrors. A little bag there. You see that bag there at the bottom there, the orange bag? Yeah, it's got that bag. Got double disc brakes. Well, quadruple disc brakes really, because it will be quite powerful. Yeah, these vehicles, because you got to think about it like this: is power to weight ratio, isn't it? We know a bicycle is light. It's way lighter than a human. These ones, they're a bit chungus, so they'll be a bit weighty, but they still won't be that weighty, if you know what I mean. For the most part, they won't be that weighty because Kal-El, even with, I don't know how much he weighs. I'll have to get him weighed. But I reckon he's about, don't know, maybe 26 kg. Do you know what I mean? And I'm 12 stone, so that's 76 kg. I think 76, 74? No, 76 kg. Yeah. So, oops, sorry. So yeah, the vehicles themselves won't be that weighty, even with the magnets in them. The magnets kind of chunky as well, but they're not too weighty. You know what I mean? So, even with that, I think that's fine as well. That's good. Yeah. So I'm happy with that as well. I'm going to, if I can, guys, if I get the time and the money and all them things there, after paying bills and all that stuff, how life is, I will definitely start to make these vehicles. Yeah. I've got some plans already to start making the motor, but like I said, I have to sort out some other things in my life first. But yeah, the motor is going to be, I'm hoping, quite simple to make. Yeah. I'm just hoping. You never know until you try it, innit, really. But I've got a plan. I've got an idea of what I want to do. Because the tube in itself, like if you look at, hold on guys. If you look at the tube in itself, where are we? There, right? That has to be non-conductive, innit? To allow, a more freer movement for the magnet. Yeah. So what I've had to do is I've had to get a juice flask, not a flask, but a juice, that's sort of like a flask, but it's not a flask. But yeah, like a big juice container, basically. And it's like a cylinder, pretty much. So its dimensions are pretty much the same from one side to the next and going throughout. So I know that could work for the moving magnet to go to the fixed magnet here. So you have a fixed magnet here, you have a moving magnet here on the piston, on the pin, and then it will be pushing away. It'll go forward, pushing away, but it'll be doing this like this, basically. Boom, 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 like that. So then you'll have this bit here, which is the arm, and then that would lock, and then that would not lock. So it would release. So it'll be here, and it'll be able to bend down while it pushes in closer. And as it goes up and makes it cycle again, it will go back out, bend down, push down. You see? Yeah, that's pretty much it for now, guys. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. It's a semi-short one. I don't know, because I normally do like an hour-ish, innit? But yeah, I'm glad you guys are here with me. I'm glad you guys are enjoying. Thank you for my latest subscriber, by the way. I'm on 13 now, guys. So I'm appreciative of every single one of you guys. Thank you for your comments. Love you all. Yeah, have a great Friday and a great weekend. Yeah. And we'll speak soon. Ciao.